Howdy, 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 gents. Chris, I haven't watched your last two polos. I still need to. Wow, my hair's doing something weird. It's kind of got a little flip, flip. Maybe I should part it down the middle, a la Nate. There we go. What would Nate do? I feel like Nate would do that. Wow. Okay. So yeah, not doing that. Yeah, I survived skydiving, and it was actually an experience, and I'm really glad I did it. And to tell you the truth, I was so Bethany first brought up the idea on like Wednesday. We were trying to figure out something memorable we could do for our anniversary, and I suggested iFly, but they're still closed. And she's like, why don't we do the actual thing? Why don't we find out how much it is? And we looked into it, and it really was pretty affordable. So we're like, she popped it with me, and I thought on it for about 15 minutes because, well, she caught me completely off guard suggesting it. And I'm like, okay, well, let's do it. Let's do it. So we called and booked it and thought about it for a couple days. And then last night, for whatever reason, of course, I'm sitting there not sleeping well, thinking about it, and the thing that vexes me is the idea of going out the door of a plane. So anyway, today, like as the day went on and it was getting closer and closer, I was kind of starting to freak out a little. Like kind of getting like the nervous dry heaves and etc. We get there, and I'm kind of nervous. My palms are sweaty and all that stuff. We go into this back room for a waiver signing, and we have like 8 pages, like 4 pages front and back of waivers to sign. And each time I'm writing my initials, I'm getting more and more nervous. And we have to watch this video that goes over everything we've just signed. And it's this guy telling us that skydiving is not a joke. We could die doing skydiving. It's like, I'm already freaking out. And then they show us a video of a girl having fun doing it. But meanwhile, I'm still remembering Beardy McBeardface telling me I could die. So anyway, we're standing there kind of waiting our turn. It was the two of us and then this group of like, I think 6 got 18-year-olds graduating from high school. Like they were celebrating their graduation together before they all went off to college. And so their group split. 4 of them went up in one plane, and then Bethany and I went up in the next. And we went up in the second, and that was almost worse because it was so much longer. I had to think about it. So I was freaking out so much. Bethany didn't think I'd actually get in the plane, and I did. And then she really didn't think I'd get out of the plane, and I ended up doing it. But while we were up there, it was crazy because there was this guy in his 50s, and he was training for like his jumping certification, which I guess you have to have so many solo jumps under your belt. And he clearly did not know what he was doing, and come to find out he was only on his 50th jump, which is like nothing, I guess. But anyway, he was trying to go out the door too early. And if you guys don't know what tandem skydiving is, you're like strapped to an actual instructor, so you're doing very little. But anyway, this guy kept trying to go out the door before he should, and Bethany's instructor and my instructor kept having to try and pull this fool back inside. And then finally, at one point, my instructor is like, hey, lean over to the window if you can. So I lean over against the wall. My instructor's reaching around me, and he's like, dude, your belts aren't even tight. And he's saying that to the old guy in front of me, and he's just sitting there trying to cinch this guy up. So the guy finally goes out the door, and he looks to my instructor looks to Bethany's instructor and goes, well, didn't have his face mask down, didn't have goggles on. We'll see how quickly he regrets that decision. But yeah, anyway, so time comes for us to get out of the plane. And since I was freaking out a little bit, my instructor decided that he and I needed to go first because he needed to get me out before I had time to think about it much. So we he we walk up to the door. I'm on my knees and he's standing, just because that's the position you have to be in, and I have to put my head back kind of in his neck and my fold my legs up to where my heels are basically touching his butt, and then he just pushes us out the plane. And at that point you're just free falling, and at this point, like, I'm actually fine at this point, because like it's freaky, you're falling, but you're just kind of looking at the horizon. So we free fell for 60 seconds, and then he pulled the ripcord and the chute, and so then at that point it was actually super peaceful and relaxing. So you have like these handles that you're handed at one, or he hands me the handles, and so I'm for a bit actually kind of controlling stuff. He's telling me what to do, how much pressure to put on. So we did a couple of like big like twisty circles, 2 to the right and 2 to the left, and I wasn't like super crazy about that part, but I was like, okay, I'm probably never going to be up here again, so we got to get the full experience. But anyway, that was like super peaceful, and my instructor's like pointing out all the landmarks that I should be seeing. Like, it was clear, so I could see downtown Kansas City, I could see the airport, I could see the speedways, so that was all really cool. Get down closer to the ground, we end up getting a perfect landing, and I get unstrapped. And then this was crazy, because I'm 180 pounds, Bethany is 120, and the other 2 high school kids going were like 150. So I get down there in about 3 minutes flat. So we free fell for 60 seconds, and then about another 2.5 minutes before we touched down. I was waiting another 2-3 minutes for Bethany to get down, because she was so light that they were just up there having to circle and circle and circle, continuously trying to lose altitude. So she's been like mega motion sick all day, because she's not the kind of person who does well with like motion sickness. So she didn't feel well all day. I've kind of had a pressure headache, because that's like an unbelievable amount of pressure. But it was actually really fun, and I'm really glad I did it. Like I said, I don't know that I feel the pressing urge to do it again, or at least not anytime soon. You know, maybe someday, if like Ethan and Ellie really want to do it, I'll consider going up with them, but I don't have that bug right now. And yeah, I'm not the type of person who's super afraid of heights. Like, there are certain things I don't like being up high if I don't feel in control of if that makes sense. So like, if I'm on the top of like a 20-foot ladder and both arms are above my head and I don't feel in control, I'm not wild about that. But I was surprised that, and I think I was envisioning like having freak out moments about that. But once I was out of the plane, it was fine. I knew there was nothing I could do. I knew it was just waiting to see what happened. And luckily I had an instructor who was really, really good with me, like, because he was really good at coaching and like talking me down from what I was feeling. So I had a good one. I think he had 1,600 jumps under his belt, and Bethany's instructor had over 6,000. So we were definitely well taken care of. Although, this is funny, Bethany got down to the ground, and we knew her harness was like almost brand new. Her harness had only been used for 5 jumps, so it was super stiff and super uncomfortable, and like so stiff and uncomfortable. She has bruises on her shoulders and on like the inside of her thighs from where it was. But anyway, her instructor said to the guy catching him at the bottom, because they have a catcher to kind of keep you from falling when you actually touch down on the ground. But anyway, he said to her, or he was saying to the catcher, he's like, yeah, so don't write me up. realized that we accidentally used the new parachute that hadn't been tested yet, because I guess they have to actively test parachutes before they're like opened up for tandem usage like this. So Bethany was testing a new parachute, so that was fun. And Bethany's like, I'm so thankful I did not know that ahead of time. That would have been bad. But yeah, it was weird. She loved the free fall more than like once the chute was pulled, and I thought the chute portion was so much more fun than the free fall. But yeah, like I said, cool experience. It's something we'll always remember. It's a bucket list item that a lot of people haven't done. So yeah, if you boys decide to do it sometime, like you guys decide to have a Nubs parachute gathering, I will come and stand on the ground and watch. I'll take pictures. I probably won't go out of a chopper with, or I probably won't go out of a plane with you guys. Yeah, the plane we're in is just like a double prop little plane. So once you're in the inside, you're just sitting in benches, and like you're basically sitting on your instructor's lap, because they're, while you're up there, you have your harness on, but they're strapping you up to themselves, and yeah, etc. But yeah, it was cool. Pictures are going, I don't remember if I said this, but like Bethany and I didn't pay for pictures or video just because we didn't feel the urge, but I guess they take a lot of promotional pictures and put on their Facebook. So they took some pictures of like Bethany and I waiting to jump, and us in our harnesses, and us with our flight certificates. So, and they're posting those on Tuesday. So once those are all out there, I'll throw those up on my Facebook so you guys can look at those, or yeah, whatever. But anyway, that's kind of the 411 on my jump. So any other questions, let me know and I'll try and answer them. But yeah, I'm alive.